This video is brought to you by StarCharge, the largest EV charging manufacturer in the world. They are also a provider of residential and commercial battery storage with microgrid solutions. This video is also brought to you by Kempower, the reliable, quick, and scalable EV charging solution for everyone and everywhere. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. You guys join me walking into the newest, craziest Electrify America fast charging hub here in America. And I'm in San Francisco, and behind me, let me just show you, or in front of me, I should say, this is the new Electrify America flagship location right in the heart of San Francisco. Truly an awesome site. You guys know we've given Electrify America all of the good stories and all of the bad stories along their way. They were really fast to deploy high power charging infrastructure when they were forced to do so. But then the equipment that they originally were putting in just was not up to the task, just didn't work. And still we're dealing with major reliability problems and bugs from those. However, they have new units, which, okay, I've had a better experience with, still not perfect, but improvements are coming. And we can see that they're starting to work on really dialing in that customer experience. This is not a sponsored video. I flew myself all the way out here to California just for a few hours so I can come here and visit this site and explore it with you for the first time. And I've also reached out to Electrify America. I said, hey, I'm coming out to make a video. My friend Michael just took over their technical division. Can I get him on camera? Can he show me around this place? And Michael will be here in a moment, and he's going to take us on a full tour. But this is the new big fast charging hub for EA in the US. It's a crazy site, beautiful site, 24-hour security, indoor charging. This is what people want in urban environments to charge. So what I'm going to first do in this video is take you on a customer experience. We're going to go charge my Volvo C40 that I'm driving. We're then going to go on a full tour, and then we're going to talk about potentially the future of Electrify America, different sites, and perhaps some improvements in reliability to come. So we got a lot to get into in this episode. A huge thanks to Kempower for sponsoring this episode. You guys know I'm a huge fan of Kempower chargers for many reasons, but ultimately I love their flexibility and scalability. Essentially, they have rack-powered DC chargers, which means, especially at a lot of fleet customers, you have power limitations when chargers first go in, and then site upgrades can take a while. So you can put in a full rack to handle DC charging capability. You can put in maybe 200 or 300 kilowatts and then expand as you get more power capacity to your site. Uber flexible. The way Kempower works is you have your main AC-DC rectifiers that are unbelievably reliable in an off-board cabinet, and then satellites that you can place up to 80 meters away. I mean, really far away, you can put these satellites. Really awesome stuff. It's fantastic for fleet use. It's fantastic for actually even mining use deep underground. If you're an OE looking to test in harsh environments, for example, you got to make sure your car's charged in the coldest climates. You need the toughest charging solutions, and of course, that's going to be Kempower. So huge thanks to them for sponsoring this video. You should definitely check them out if you're looking for high-powered DC fast charging. This is the indoor charging hub, and here's the Volvo C40 that I've brought along. I just rented it from Hertz when I flew in. I said, hey, this would be a cool car to use. Nice and red. Really like it. It was right up front. And we're going to charge it, essentially. So let's jump in the car. There we go. Open up the Volvo. Thank you. We're at 53% state of charge. I'm going to exit here. I just want to show you on the street how all of this works. Now, we are in the heart of San Francisco. Let's see if I can show you on a map. Apple CarPlay, no thank you. Google Maps, there we go. Let me show you on a map exactly where we are, because we are in a pretty central location where charging infrastructure just isn't great. And if I come here and we'll go north up, here we are. So that's the Bay Bridge over here. Golden Gate Bridge over there. So we're really right in the middle of San Francisco, and it's a great location for EV drivers. And I've just met a couple viewers that were here as well, talking about how much they love this site. So again, I don't want this to be like a full fluff piece for EA, but I really think you guys know we deserve to give them the credit when they do something incredible. And this is one of the most incredible fast charging sites I've ever been to in our country, and perhaps even the world. I'm always on the hunt for cool stuff like this, and this is certainly a very cool showcase. We're going to talk about, is this a sustainable model? Of course, it's going to be extremely expensive to do something like this, but the customer benefit certainly is there. So let's say you're driving through San Francisco like we are right now. I'm driving the Volvo C40. I decide I want to charge, and we are going to go find this EA site. Now, it seems like at least the people that I've met today are using this as their primary charging location for urban charging. EA was really great in building out a network of high power chargers for long distance driving. We've showcased that. Whether or not when you get there they work, that's a different story, but at least the connections are there, the sites are in the ground for long distance travel. And now they're focusing on the urban environment. So you can see here, Electrify America right there. And we are pulling in. Now we're just not going to run this person over, but it's currently in the hours when the door is open, but there is 24-hour security. I believe at 6 p.m. they close the door, also just because it gets cold and windy, and they will have a security card let you in. There's also lounge space to the left and right of me, which is very cool. And you can see plenty of spaces available. 20 350 kilowatt DC fast charging dispensers in here. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how the power is run, of course. So let's back it into the parking spot. I think Volvo kind of needs to work on that reversing camera. That's not the best, is it? It looks very similar to the one that I have in my Polestar, actually. So there we go, into park, and we are going to plug in the C40. So I've rolled up. I've checked every single charger here is functional and working, by the way, all 20 of them. Have we ever seen that before? Now, whether or not they did that because I was arriving here, I don't know. But I did ask some other EV owners that I met who've been using this site, and they said it's been extremely reliable. It's been wonderful. And even when this site is pumping, they haven't seen any lines or any queues yet. But with 20 stalls, pretty much everyone leaves every 2.5 minutes, something like that. There's a new one that opens up. So I think we're going to see more things like this in the future. I'm going to plug in the C40. We're going to get it charging. I got to return it back to Hertz. So I'm going to plug it in. We'll activate the charger and see how that all goes. And here we go. I have plugged in, swiped in the app, initiated a charge, 42 cents per kilowatt hour with Pass Plus. I think it's 56 cents without. I can hear the cable cooling is just kicking on, and we are charging. Now the Volvo's battery is cold. I did not precondition for here, so I don't think we'll get maximum charging speeds. But just above here, I can see all of the cabinets up in the top window. I'll be able to walk through the wiring of the site, of course, but really, really a beautiful canopied and even indoor charging location. Here we are doing 77 kilowatts, slowly ramping 79, but that is, again, the car is cold and it is getting everything that it wants. Nice Lucid here coming through. There we go. Nice. Well, let me show you around quickly the tour. You have, your vehicle entrance that we came in. So a vehicle can come in, stop and charge. There's an indoor lounge, 2 separate ones, and a conference room. We'll be looking at those. And then you have your exit here on the back side. Again, during the day, the garage doors are open. There's 24-hour security. And also just a lot attendant. If you have issues charging your car, some of the folks have been saying that the security guys are extremely helpful. They know most of the vehicles, they know how they work, and they can get you charging. You roll out on the back here and you're good to go, and it says exit only back here. So let's go meet Michael. Let's talk about this site, and then most importantly, I want to ask him about future sites, improving reliability, the things that we all want to see that EA, I know some of the people that work at EA. It's hard for me sometimes to tell their stories because I just want to get them on camera. So here's our first opportunity to get Michael, a true EV driver enthusiast, lives in Colorado, drives a Taycan Cross Turismo. His wife has an e-tron. Like, they're really awesome EV drivers. And Michael's past was responsible, of course, for working on the Rivian Adventure Network, now responsible for all of this. So I'm very, very pleased that he is here. We have the right people in place, and now we just need to hit the go button on making all this stuff work, not just in this one location, but all locations across the country. So let's go meet Michael. Hey, Michael, how's it going, sir?
Hey, Kyle, good to see you.
Great to see you. We're both from Colorado, here in California.
Here in California.
So let's run inside. Can you tell me roughly what you're doing at EA? What are you working on? Because you're doing a lot.
Yeah, so I'm VP of Technology at EA. I'm relatively new. I started back in August of last year. Oops, here's a...
Oh, we thought someone was coming in, not coming in.
Okay. So I started back in August, and I run the technology team, which includes the hardware team, the software team, the product team, the quality team, and recently energy services as well.
Wow, huge job, dude. That's incredible. And to be honest, I've known you for quite a long time now. You are the right guy for the job. You're an EV driver. You know what needs to happen, and you've been making cool things happen over there.
Yep. We've been driving EVs at home for a few years now. We've free EVs, and we're in it. So like we experience the network and travel just like all of you.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you've built a flagship site here. I guess the question is why?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of all of this?
Yeah, so we built this flagship site in this part of San Francisco because we really we're on a mission to enable EV ownership for all drivers. And we picked this location for a few reasons, and location is one of the things that makes this special. So we're actually right by the exits of Highway 101 and 280 and Highway 80 of the Bay Bridge. So we're really convenient for commuters. But also this part of San Francisco has a ton of apartments and condos, and it's people who don't have access to home charging. So we really wanted to make EV ownership available to that audience as well.
Amazing. Well, let's go check it out. So I already showed everyone, of course, pulling in here and taking a look at everything, but you have these lounges on the left and the right side. Why 2 lounges?
Yeah, so it's just the way that the space worked out. So this site was already zoned for automotive, and we had an entrance through here, and so we split it up into 2 lounges. They're both climate controlled. They have high-speed Wi-Fi. This one over here has some vending machines.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of bathrooms with baby changing stations as well.
And for the YouTubers out there, I did test the Wi-Fi. We get 100 megabit per second upload, which is great. You never find that. So when I'm here in town, this is where I'm uploading videos from now on.
Yeah, you're welcome to do it. Yeah, I tested it right after you, and yeah, super fast.
Hell yeah. Well, let's go into this one first, if you don't mind. Sure. Can we go check it out? So you have some big doors here, and I see these are removable. You mentioned you could fit a car in there?
That's right. This lounge was designed to be able to bring a car in. So if we wanted to do a vehicle launch event or customer education or just have something interesting on display, it opens up so we can bring an EV right into the lounge. Yeah,
I was thinking if you had like a converted bus, old Volkswagen bus or something to put in there, that'd be pretty sweet. With the launch of ID Buzz would be cool.
Yeah. Well, as you know, we have relationships with VW Group and a lot of automakers in general. So
yeah,
something we can mention, especially like SVW is launching the ID Buzz later this year.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, let's go inside. Let's check it out. So I've been here for about 30 minutes so far, and we've already seen this place kind of not fill up. I think there were 8 spaces available, but then it flows down. Everyone leaves. So it seems to be this almost pulsing effect of cars coming in and out. Is that what you're seeing on the back end as well?
That's right. It ebbs and flows, but this site is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and so we see a lot of cars coming in during commuting times in the morning and the afternoon. Lunchtime gets very busy. I've been here a couple of days, so I've been just watching cars come and go.
Yeah.
And then overnight is actually really busy. We surprised us, but there's a lot of rideshare drivers that are charging overnight.
Right. So even like middle of the night.
9 p.m.
Yeah. And you also have 24-hour security, is my understanding?
That's right. So that's one of the things that makes this site special is we're in an urban environment here, but we wanted people to feel really secure as they charge. So we have a security officer here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's hard to tell during the daytime, but the lighting is really fantastic in here. So it's like a nice lit, bright space, and it's attended all the time.
Yeah, I think especially in urban environments such as San Francisco, it's so important to have a safe place to come and charge your EV, not have to worry in the back of your head. I think we've all sat at charging stations in the middle of the night in the back of a parking lot. We're like, oh, just keep your eyes open. But here you can just kind of chill, come to the lounge, so much nicer.
Right, that's right. Yeah, we security and safety is something that we take into account when we're locating all of our sites, but it goes doubly true for an urban environment like this, right? That we wanted to make sure people felt safe and comfortable.
Yeah, and you can see just cars and cars and cars coming in. Pretty amazing. And this space is huge. There's tons of space and to do things. What are customers thinking about that? I mean, just before we started this video, we met 2 customers that honestly don't like to charge anywhere else. This is their new preferred charging location. What have you been seeing?
Yeah, so we've been talking to customers for the last few days, and it's amazing how many people I've spoken to who the site's only been open for 3 weeks, right? Today it's like the 3-week anniversary, and it's amazing how many people I've spoken to that have been here 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's becoming their regular site. We had one woman that we were speaking to a few minutes ago, lives in this neighborhood, doesn't have great home charging, so she's using this as a site, and it's actually increased her confidence in owning her EV, right? As you heard.
Yeah, I was there firsthand. She's like, I can keep my electric car because of this site now. So it shows that, okay, this model can work. Now, there's no question that doing a big building like this in an expensive city like San Francisco, this is not cheap. There's no way around that. But is this just going to be the only flagship, or are you guys going to put this everywhere? Or what is roughly the rollout plan for something like this?
Yeah, so our hope is that this is not just the beginning for EA, but it's inspirational for the industry. And so we do have a few more flagship sites coming online later this year in Santa Barbara and San Diego.
Oh, great.
And in future years, you'll see flagship sites outside of just California. But this is really our first time doing this. It's our largest site, and we're learning from this as well.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting because I'm noticing we have quite a few cars here, just as an example, and people are sitting in their cars even though the lounges are available. I mean, I'm sure it just depends. You mentioned maybe when families start coming for summer road trips, this would be great to have the kids out, let them run around or something like that.
Yep, that's right. So like we open on February 9th, so this is still early days, and I think that there'll be some seasonality. I was surprised that a lot of people are still sitting in their cars, even though we have these beautiful lounges. But just in the hour that we've been here this morning, like we've seen a number of people, like somebody who come in and send an email and use the high-speed Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And then get back in their car and go.
Yeah, and we've also met people. I think at charging stations, you've been there. We talk to people when they're out of their car, plugging or unplugging. But here it's actually kind of a cool conversational space. You can be like, oh, what EV do you drive? You learn about people. And yeah, it's been really nice just chatting with everyone. You also have this conference room here. Is this open to EV drivers, or is this for your usage?
No, this is open for anybody.
Oh, wow.
So right now, you can't reserve it. It's first come, first serve.
Okay.
But we have seen people come in and do video calls or take meetings in here. So
that'd be cool. Maybe the next,
have a meeting this afternoon in here.
Great. I was thinking if we ever do an out of spec meetup, this would be the perfect place to have everyone bring their EVs and have a little party here. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk hardware. So, by the way, there's another lounge over there, which is similar sizing to this one, right?
Right, similar size. That one has a couple of vending machines in it.
Yeah, very cool. So that's great. Get some snacks, some drinks, but there's also local amenities around. There's little shops and things that you can do around.
That's right. There's a donut shop down the street. There's a sandwich shop a couple blocks up towards the Moscone Center. So there's a number of things that are walkable.
So lounge is cool. Location's perfect. The building itself is beautiful. Let's talk chargers. Can we run out and take a look at these things? Let's do some out of spec stuff. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, I guess one thing before we end on the lounge thing, if there is someone here who doesn't have an EV or is not supposed to be here, how do you kick them out? How do you not let them in the first place? How does that work?
Oh, yeah, good question. So we mentioned we have that security guard 24/7, and if people come in and park a non-EV, then the guard will politely ask people to leave, and that hasn't been a problem so far. But
great to hear.
But yeah, we'll see as we get more operational history under our belts. So
yeah, every site will have its own stories. I'm sure things will happen, but it sounds like you guys are equipped to take care of them. So let's run back to the Volvo. Let's go see where we've plugged in. We can talk a little bit about the power flow. So how many chargers are in here and how are they all hooked up?
Okay, so there's 20 hyper-fast chargers in here. They'll support up to 350 kilowatts per charger. They are balanced, so they're connected to a shared power cabinet in pairs of 2.
Yep.
And what that means is that if you're the only one charging on those 2 chargers and your vehicle can support it, then you would get up to 350 kilowatts. If somebody came and plugged in on the shared charger, then you would split that 350 kilowatts.
Is there a way to know, like, for example, I'm charging here the Volvo. Is there a way to know which one I'm paired with? Is there a general rule of thumb?
It's adjacent chargers.
Okay.
But it's not labeled, but we think that actually, like, there's very little customer impact because not everybody pulls in with low state of charge and commands that much.
Totally. It's just
power.
like if you see a Taycan ripping at 320 kilowatts, just leave one gap.
That's right. Yeah, just leave one gap.
Yeah, and then you should be good. And I love the idea of distributed power. And, you know, of course, I pulled up here in a Volvo that can take 150 kilowatts, but the battery was cold. I was at 50-something% state of charge, so I was getting 80, which is what it wanted. So there's plenty of available power for really even a crazy high power charging vehicle. Like I think I'm probably sharing with this ID4, and none of us are affected by the charging power.
That's right. That's right.
So let's take a look at the units. These are now the, at least I can see from the label, the BTC units. You call them Gen 4. What can you tell us about these dispensers, these chargers, and the hardware that you guys are using?
So these are our latest generation chargers, and they're hyper fast, up to 350 kilowatts. They support multiple payment methods, and they support plug and charge. In fact, we were the first charge point operator to launch plug and charge, and we support that across all of our network, not just on our latest generation chargers. They have, as you know, liquid cooled cables, so they can support 500 amps. So they'll charge, if your vehicle is capable of it, they'll charge super fast.
Yeah, and I think I've actually gone, the maximum I've charged on these is 366 kilowatts, I think, on a Hummer EV, just absolutely ripping. So that was awesome.
Yep. So that's right. There's a little bit of headroom in the power cabinet. So yeah, there are reports of people seeing over 350, but 350 is the labeled.
And I know the rest of our audience, I mean, you, of course, know a lot of our viewers just by running into them, but we're all EV drivers. We all want this experience wherever we go. We all want to see every charger completely online at every site when we roll up there. What are some of the programs that you guys are putting into place, and maybe some updates that you're doing to sites to ensure higher charging reliability and higher charging power?
Yeah, so we reliability and customer experience are our top priorities, and we know the network's not perfect. We own that, but we're doing a lot to improve that reliability. So for one, we're actually updating chargers with our latest generation charger. There are we've done over 700 upgrades in the last 2 years.
Wow.
We have a network operations center that is monitoring chargers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If a charger goes down, they catch it at the network operations center, NOC we call it, and they try to recover it remotely. We've made some improvements there in their capabilities to recover charges remotely recently, and if they're not successful remotely, then they'll send out a field service engineer to fix the charger.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you guys know, I mean, we've done a lot of road trips using the network. We've seen obviously many successful road trips, many road trips with issues. But I will say one thing I've learned just by talking with you and your colleagues and everyone is the people at EA do really care about reliability. And so your EV drivers, you know what needs to get done, and you're working towards, my impression, this is just from the outside looking in, honestly making the network way better than it was even 1 year ago.
That's right. So the thing that when I started Electrify back last summer, the first thing I recognized was like the people are fantastic, and they're passionate about electrification. They're EV drivers, and they're super talented, and they're working really hard every day to build the network that we all want, and that we are achieving. It's getting better every day, and with every software release.
Yeah, and maybe there's some cool things we can do in the future with you guys to show the data on that. I'd love to nerd out on some of the numbers.
Yeah, we're a bunch of EV nerds also. So yeah, we would love to have that conversation with you.
Well, thanks for touching on that topic. Back to the building here. So we're looking at 10 chargers down this side. I do notice that the unit all the way on the end is the sort of older style dispenser with the CHAdeMO unit. My understanding was that you guys weren't going to put in any new CHAdeMOs anymore. Do you know why that's there, or what's going on there?
So we are supporting. So there's one CHAdeMO charger out of 20 chargers here, and that reflects the market, right? Like there's still CHAdeMO cars out there. It's really like one make and model out of the over 40 models that we support, including Teslas, on our network. And so we like I said earlier, like we want to make EVs accessible to everybody. We don't want to orphan people who have CHAdeMO vehicles, but as you can see, like just in the time that we've been here, nobody's pulled up in a CHAdeMO vehicle.
Right.
So it's like they're becoming less common.
Yes.
As the vehicle fleet collectively, publicly moves to CCS and eventually to NACS.
Yeah, and with that NACS plan, I noticed that these dispensers have one cable on them. Is there a set in stone plan as how to roll out NACS or J3400, or what are you guys thinking on your side?
So we're actively working on it, and we'll launch NACS in 2025. And these dispensers, these chargers will remain single cable chargers, but everything that we're installing now is retrofittable to NACS, and it's a new cable assembly and perhaps a new chiller, but they're all electronically compatible with NACS.
Yeah, and I guess there's still not really any UL NACS cables out there, so we're waiting on the suppliers to get in line to get their products on the market.
That's right, and we're actively working with multiple suppliers on their NACS offerings, and we're still evaluating the supply chain.
Yeah,
so
sure.
There's still a lot of work to do in 2024 to launch those NACS sites in 25.
Great. Well, good to hear. Our audience loves J3400 NACS. I'm excited for it as well. Just as an EV driver, it's a nicer interface, but ultimately, I think it's just going to make the charging landscape so much better for everyone. When any car can go to any charging site, any network operator, then everyone can play on a level playing field.
That's right. We're excited about J3400 also, and I agree with you 100% that it's great for customers to have more simplicity and more portability in the market.
So there's 10 chargers on this side, am I correct? Or are there even more?
There's 10 on each side.
10 on each side. And then I can look up in the windows and of course, those are the EV charging power cabinets up there. What's the reason for putting them up and in view? It's kind of cool that everyone can see what's powering. It's a nice window view.
Yeah, so the windows were actually part of the reason. So we wanted to enable people to see what was going on behind the scenes because we're all learning about electric vehicles together, right? And so just customer education is a big part of what we do. There were also some specific reasons why we put them up elevated that like minimized the soil impact as we constructed this site. So it was a lower impact way to build this site.
And then I guess you can just even install them through the windows. Is that how you guys did that?
That's right. The windows are removable. So if a power cabinet needed to be replaced or serviced, it can be serviced through with a lift.
Right. And it's also, I guess, if you have a power module that needs service rather than the whole stack, someone can just walk up the staircase and work on it over there as well.
Yep. That's right. There's an elevated mezzanine with a staircase. It's very accessible.
Can we go over there and talk a little bit about how the power is run for this site?
Yeah. I'd love to tell you about the power for the site.
This 20 chargers, 350 kilowatts, of course, dispersed across 2 different dispensers. Right. But that's a lot of power.
That's right. So this site at peak load will draw 3.5 megawatts of power.
Damn.
Which is actually more power than the Transamerica building across town, the skyscraper.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Now, as you know, like that would require an event where you have a bunch of EVs that are capable of charging at a high rate, and they all come in with a low state of charge on their batteries. So,
right.
So the likelihood of reaching that peak is improbable, but not impossible, and the site supports that.
Right. So you're spec'd to handle worst case scenario of, if everyone rolls up, if you got 20 Hummer EVs in here and they plug in, you're good to go.
That's right. If there was a Hummer EV drivers club and they all drove up from Yosemite on the way back from Yosemite, and they came in with a low state of charge, we're prepared for that scenario.
That's amazing. Cool. Let's go over this way, because my understanding is you have actually not even just a normal grid connection, because when we're at EA sites, we normally see the green transformers, and you have your low voltage-ish side on the input, and then your 480, 277 on the output, which feeds the chargers. But my understanding is that's not how this site is wired up.
That's right. So this is our first medium voltage site, which means that we connected over 1,000 volts. This site actually connects at 12,000 volts. So there's almost a mini power plant behind these doors.
Let's go. We got to at least show the viewers a quick sneak preview.
Let's take a quick peek in.
Great. Yeah. I really appreciate you guys letting us at least take a look at what's going on in here. So we have, just crazy. So you have 2 big transformers here, your input power, that's the 12 kVA grid interconnect over there, and then 12,000, I should say, yep. And this is your 480 distribution, which goes up to the charger. So really, really nice installation here. Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, and we've been told recently that the electrical work is just beautiful, right? You see the conduit coming out of the the switch gear here and heading up to those power cabinets.
Yeah, wow. It is so cool in there. That is like a dream. And yeah, really thrilled that you were able to get it that solid. That's amazing.
And it was a big project to get this much power into an urban location. So we worked really closely with Pacific Gas and Electric, the local utility, and the city of San Francisco to make this possible.
Very cool. So really to finalize my thoughts on this entire project, you have an incredible customer experience, unlike really any charging hub in the US, at least, or at least publicly available charging hub, we could say. But I really can't think of any other site that's similar to this, that's dedicated for EV charging with 24/7 attendant, making sure everything's going. From my eyes, this is really next level. It's not cheap, but it shows a pretty good commitment to your drivers that you're like, we know the experience you guys want and you can provide it here.
Yeah, that's right. So it's the first indoor charging site in the country. It's our first flagship site. And you really hit on it. Like we really designed this around customer experience. We wanted people to come in, have a charger available, be able to fast charge, hang out in the lounges while they're charging, and feel secure the whole time with our 24/7 security.
Yeah, well, great work. Can't thank you enough for flying out and joining me to be on the video. That was really great. And we'll have to do more things into the future.
Yeah, that'd be great, Kyle. It's really nice to see you here. And thanks for coming and visiting our site.
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
Great, thank you.
Well, guys, I've just got back to the East Coast after that shoot, and I wanted to say a huge thank you to Michael. I think you'll all agree with me that no question he's the right guy for the job. You know, he's just joining Electrify America. He's still got a big ship to turn around. He's got a lot of hardware evaluations to look at into the future, a lot of back-end software. But I think ultimately what I was talking to Electrify America about is, look, I flew out there. This was not sponsored. We hammer them so much on reliability. I said, look, you're doing something cool. I want to highlight the cool things you're doing. We're not here just to say, you suck, we need chargers to work. We ultimately really want to, you know, showcase the cool projects they're working on. And through this process, I learned, you know, a little bit more about the people at Electrify America and that they truly are EV drivers. And we didn't really harp on the problems too much. Perhaps what I offered to them was like, if you have data that the network is getting better and you're showing problems, how you're fixing them, and then improvements rolling out, share that story with us so we can share it with you guys, so we can learn together. I even offered, let me know if you think this would be cool, where we do like a week-long stress test of the Electrify America network. All of the out-of-spec viewers, all of us, we hammer every station, we go out there, we charge, we log every issue we can find. We compile all of that data, and then Electrify America can keep us updated as to how they fix all of the problems. These are just the ideas that I had. Who knows what's going to happen ultimately. I'm about to leave on a huge road trip in this F-150 Lightning with my friend Tom Malogny in an identical Lightning to this one. And we're going to be doing the public networks versus the supercharger with the adapter that I have for this vehicle now. Look, there's still a lot of work to be done. Not just on the EA side, but also EVgo, also ChargePoint, also Tesla. I've been seeing some issues at Tesla superchargers. So I think for this year, you will have noticed that I've sort of toned back a little bit, not completely, but toned back a little bit of just complaining, saying charging sucks, this all sucks, and maybe focusing some of my efforts into learning more about charging and also trying to find solutions so that this electric vehicle thing can work. I think we all agree that if charging stays the way it is today, no one will buy electric cars into the future. So let's try and be a little bit more supportive, a little bit more, okay, I don't know, problem solving rather than problem complaining. And anyway, I think on the topic of the hub in San Francisco, yeah, really, really nice location. No question, that is an expensive site to do. You know, that was no government funding. That was all Electrify America. They were saying it's just all of them. They really wanted to provide an experience for localized charging, and they also need a flagship. Every charging network needs a flagship, and we've visited many of those. We've visited Porsche's flagship in Bingen. We've visited the Zusmarshausen Innovations Park, my favorite charging station in Germany, with all the ones that come down from the roof. We visited the Mercedes-Benz charging hub at their headquarters in Atlanta. Not every Mercedes-Benz charging location will have a canopy. Even they're at Buc-ee's, and a lot of them are not like the one we showed in Atlanta. But I do think it's important to have flagships. My understanding is Electrify America will have Santa Barbara and San Diego flagships coming soon, very similar to this one. No question they need more. I mean, it's already early days of electric vehicles, and that station was bumping. So I think they need, like, instead of 20 stalls, they need 100 stalls going forwards, no question. And but I'm really curious to see what you guys think about this. Reliable indoor charging, safe, with a security on site 24/7 in an environment that truly needs it. San Francisco, oof, I was just spent a few hours there, and I'm like, this has changed. Yeah, I think that's the move for urban charging. You guys let me know. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks to Electrify America for honestly allowing us to film that, and also for providing Michael to come out, flying him out so he could join us for the video. I think it was a really cool move that they offered to do that after all of the things we've done. I mean, we've never been, you know, I'd say unfairly harsh on them. We've just been harsh because we need charging to work, and you know, they take it pretty well, and they supported us on this video. So I have to say a huge thank you to the EA team for that as well. So all good in my book. This was a great video, totally worth the trip out there, and I hope you guys will agree. We'll see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.